I'm Joyce Wu in Hong Kong and welcome to ViuTV News. Coming up on tonight's show. Hong Kong's chief executive apologizes again after fury sparked by the extradition bill, but she still hasn't offered to withdraw it. Protesters remain defiant despite the apology, calling for the bill to be killed once and for all. And President Xi Jinping is set to travel to North Korea this week, making him the first Chinese leader to visit the country in almost a decade and a half. Chief Executive Carrie Lam has once again offered the city an apology for the outrage caused by her plans to change the extradition law. Lam reiterated there was no timetable to reintroduce the bill, but did not scrap it entirely.
I personally have to shoulder much of the responsibility. This has led to controversies, disputes, and anxieties in society. For this, I offer my most sincere apology to all people of Hong Kong. We have immediately stopped the bill on the 15th of June. And I have furthermore undertaken that because this bill over the last few months has caused so much anxiety and worries and differences in opinion, I will not, this is an undertaking, I will not proceed again with this legislative exercise if these fears and anxieties could not be adequately addressed.
Let's bring in our reporter, Britt Clennett, who has been following the extradition bill controversy. So, Britt, talk us through what happened.
Well, it really was a day of suspense, of speculation. The rumour mill was working overtime, if you like. Local media reports saying that she may withdraw the bill, that she may resign. Neither of that happened during her 50-minute statement and Q&A with the press. What we did get is another apology. The CE saying that she had a big role in the mishandling of all this and that she was upset for all the people who were injured during the last week. Now, on questions regarding the violence that we saw on June the 12th, she said, I was following the police chief on referring to that rioting behaviour, and she said it was entirely based on assessment from on the ground. The CE should not make her own judgment of the situation on the ground. So some might say that's shirking responsibility, others that's saying that she has the right to defend herself there. Now, as for the bill, she said she can promise that as long as we cannot deal with these conflicts and disputes, we will definitely not restart the process. So is she leading a lame duck government? Well, she says she has the work cut out for her. It's going to be a difficult few years, but that they will be able to rebuild the trust and get things pushed on.
So how do you think this will be received, Britt? What is next?
Well, I think you have to put that into the context of the anticipation leading up to this and what we've heard from protesters about what they want from her. The demands that we've heard so far have been clear. They want it to be withdrawn and they want her to resign. So based on that, I think it is safe to say it has the potential to perhaps spark a little bit more anger, perhaps some more protests. It's not clear just yet. We'll have to wait and see on that. But Lam had already issued an apology on Sunday night through a written government statement. Many people at that point said that it lacked sincerity. It also failed to pacify marchers who said they no longer trusted her and doubted her ability to govern. We saw, of course, potentially 2 million people took to the streets last Sunday to voice their anger, even though she had already apologised. So let's not forget there's still the anthem law, national anthem law, that could potentially be introduced. And so this does seem to be more about Beijing's growing interference in the city, not just about this extradition bill itself. So whether this is going to continue to paper over the cracks of anger and frustration in the city remains to be seen at this point, Joyce.
Okay, thank you very much, Britt. Okay. Well, many organisers of the protests have said they'll continue to hold street demonstrations until the chief executive scraps the extradition bill once and for all. They say they're worried that the authorities could try to revive the legislation in the future. While the numbers and the anger may have died down since last week, as Elman Lee reports, those that remain claim to be as defiant as ever.
Hong Kong's government offices and the roads around it may have reopened this morning. but some protesters still refuse to budge. 2 days after a massive march brought parts of the city to a standstill, dozens still lingered outside Lechko today to continue to fight against the controversial extradition amendments. After days of roadblocks, authorities announced they would cancel today's weekly Executive Council meeting, where Carrie Lam typically consults her advisors on policies. Hong Kong's Police Commissioner Stephen Low also came out last night to clarify his comments on the violent clashes last week, after protesters voiced their anger over the events being labeled a riot.
What I meant is the behavior displayed by some protesters might have committed rioting offense. As such, those others who have participated in the same public order event but have not engaged in any violent acts need not to worry of committing a rioting offense.
Police say 15 people were arrested following Wednesday's protest, 5 of them allegedly for rioting-related charges. Protesters have condemned authorities for the riot claims, as that could mean people risk being charged with inciting or taking part in them. The maximum penalty is 10 years in jail. Meanwhile, lawmaker Pierre Chen has said he was shown a computer portal record that suggests police can search for patient information in public hospitals. It comes after reports that officers arrested a handful of people in hospitals following the clashes. The hospital authority has since denied that it shares patient information with police. Amelie, ViuTV News.